of these Tuesday classes, you know how to go from the outside, jump in. But it's all basically the same, right? We want him square here. Just weight his back on heels, we knock him back. If he's leaning forward, we enter here, right? Get up, make sure you got this tight connection. I'm flexing these toes here. If this hook is lazy, it's easy for him to counter me. It's very hard for me to knock him down. I need to be very tight with these toes back here. On the front side here, I want to try as much as I can to cover my heel with this knee here. This makes me more attached to him, and it also makes him harder for him to peel that foot off my hip. Now here's the thing, here's the sad truth. I'm not consistently gonna be able to make him peel that foot off the hip. It's gonna happen at some point. It's not the end of the world, but I don't want him to push down on this leg right here. Yeah, if he kills this hook, now I'm in danger. Now he back steps out, he high steps out, now I'm in trouble. So, number one, when we're here, right? To defend this foot, the best thing to do is keep off balancing him. So we go in here, as soon as we enter, he's looking to peel that foot off. I'm looking to make him step. You see when he steps, he puts that arm out for balance. All right, so as soon as I get in, I'll balance him. Look what Flake's doing here. He's leaning forward and he's backstepping with this leg to keep his balance here. Now it's hard for me to knock him this way. But as his head leans forward, it's easier to take him right forwards here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my own hook out here and drop down here. This foot plants for a bridge. This leg, I use that to kick. But if I'm trying to kick from down here, nothing's gonna happen. So I'm lifting my hip, I'm bridging off my bottom leg, and I'm pulling him forward here. It's either just gonna be a little step here, but that's enough to collect the ankle. Or sometimes I can knock him all the way to his hands, here. And from here, I can reset, or I can transition into X guards, or I can look to double ankle sweep from here. So we're just gonna get our entry. As soon as we get in, our habit should be to hit this twist sweep right away to make him step. When he steps back here, his head's leaning forward, take the top foot off, plant it on the mat. I flex my toes here, and I think about bringing him forward here. Here. Either his hands touches the mat, or he just steps his leg forward. Here. Block the leg, shoot your hips up. From here, you can look to collect the ankle. And now what you want to do is you want to square up here. Lift the hips, pull his ankles to your hips. Bring him back down, okay? Important point on the double ankle sweep, this is kind of hard to show. When I'm grabbing his foot here, I'm making sure my forearm is covering right here where the shoelaces would be. Because otherwise you can just pummel his foot out. So if I'm open with my elbow here, if I'm open with my elbow, I can just front pummel and step out. When my forearm is over here, when he tries to kick out, my forearm is in the way, and I just lift my hips, and I think about gluing both his ankles to my butt here. So last time, you enter, here, twist sweep, he back steps, leans his head forward, I let go to my single leg bridge, bump him forward, shoot up, collect here, and make sure you're covering his toes as you lift, collect, knock him down, okay? Let's add this in on 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. Next week we're gonna go more into leg lock specifics, but if you're not good at like entering the legs and off balancing people from bottom, you're not gonna get good leg lock attacks. All right, so we're gonna take these things here and put leg locks on them next week, but I just want to practice like bringing people out of balance, knocking them down first. Last thing, what if he gets the foot off the hip before we get stuff going here? We get in here, flag is just too damn good, he starts to put the foot down here. Now, if he's really good, he might even like hold this foot here and not just peel it off, right? So we want to make sure to kick it all the way back And then from here, we can look to bring him forward, right? Like sometimes we can just catch him here and reset, or we could even switch to the other leg. Both of those are good options. But what I like to do is if I feel like he's just so good at every time we get to here and I bump him, he just intercepts the foot and puts it right back. Now it's time to switch. Now it's time to go into X guards. Now what I like to do is I just like to stay with this overwrap grip here. Just palm my foot in here for an Ashi-X guard here, or an angle lock grip X guard. Same thing as before, this leg is the most important, this foot here, right? For him to peel this foot off, it's very hard. And I can keep off balancing him with this, and I can bring this back over for reaps, right? But if he stops this one down and back steps out of it, now I'm in trouble. All right, so let's scoot back a little bit here. So I go here, I feel like he's gonna peel it off, I kick it off, switch, pummel this one in front of the hip here, make sure I have sticky feet. If he's leaning forward, I can kind of look to like push and pull this in and go for a double ankle sweep here. Again, same principle as before. If he's looking to turn this way, he's an idiot, gives me a nice reap, right? And go right into heel hooks here. What sometimes people are gonna do is they're gonna look to stand up really tall here. So now when I try to push and pull here, it's gonna be difficult to knock him down. From here, I go into what's very similar to like a dummy sweep. It's basically a foot sweep here from X guard. I'm just gonna slide this foot all the way down to his ankle. Top foot knocks him this way, while this foot sweeps his foot out this way. And down he goes. And now we have great leg lock options, or we can get on top. So one more time. If you feel like your partner is just, they're too damn good at keeping their balance and keeping this foot off, switch to here. Good tension, and you can kind of push and pull, manipulate his space here. Right? If he's turning away, you reap. If he's leaning forward here, you can look how you can kind of lift this foot here and collect. All right, so if he's just standing real tall, it's hard to do either of those. Then I go for a foot sweep. Slide this foot down. I'm kicking his foot out the way his toes are pointed, this way, as I do some counter pressure on the hip here. Down he goes. And we got a nice foot sweep. So now we have like a little mini system we can work here, where we have good options. As soon as we enter single leg X, we know which way it goes, all right? Last one before positional sparring. Let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3.